You get yourself in a position where you've got to start a fire. You've gotten cold or weather's come in, nightfall's coming, something like that. You should always have some type of an emergency gear with you that will help you to effect a sustainable fire. This is the Dragonfire Extreme Tinder Pouch. It is mylar on this side and clear on this side. It is a sealed pouch that you actually have to tear the seal open on, and then it has a zip lock after that, so you can reseal this bag to use it for other things or for the remaining contents that you didn't use in the tinder bag to begin with. But there are lots and lots of different tinder sources that are already pre-dried and pre-processed in this bag. Get yourself into a situation where you've got to have fire in foul weather conditions. Snow's come in just the last few hours, coating everything. But an area like this where there's a downed pine, in fact there's actually two downed pines, a fork here that's split off at the top, probably from wind, but you've got two full pines right here that have come down, and underneath this layer of snow on top there's going to be lots and lots of dry material that's full of resins that will burn quickly. But the key now is to get that initial fire started, and that's what we're going to talk about first. Okay, I didn't get too picky here. In fact, I got a lot of material that's really too big and more damp than it needs to be, but I wanted to really test this Dragonfire material. So we're going to use this to build our fire, and we'll just do it right here. Clear an area out right here to the dirt. See what we can do. So we got our tinder pouch here and more Bushcraft Black and a 1/2-inch ferro rod from the SRO store. We've got our kindling. So I don't want to get real particular with this thing because I want to see if it'll work for just anybody. So I collected less than optimal material for sure, and I'm just going to open this bag. Tears pretty easy, and I'm going to remove some of the contents, and we'll take a close look at what's in here before we actually go to starting a fire. Okay, so opening this bag up, I immediately can see some flower tops here. Look like they have some pine resin in them. I see lots of dead flower tops actually with pine resin in them. There's some hardwood here, birch bark, cattail fluff, fat wood, more flower tops impregnated with fat wood. There's another seed pod there. There's lots of things in here that are really a one-stop shop as far as starting fire. You really wouldn't need to use this whole bag by any means. You could break up these flower tops like this, put them on the ground, remove these larger chunks of wood and get them out of your way for right now. Leave some of that birch bark in there to catch fire. This thing here looks like a full-blown match of sorts that's made on a stick of fat wood with some type of resin on it. So there's lots and lots of materials in here that are standalone materials. There's some more hardwood there for kindling, some chunks of different types of hardwood that can be split down very easily, but they're already really small enough to be used as is. There's another good stick of fat wood right there that could be trimmed down. So you really could just kind of be picky and choosy with some of this stuff and not use it all. So I'm just going to kind of lay some of it on the ground here for now, fluff up an area that I know is going to take a spark. And we're going to save some of this. There's a big chunk of birch bark and cattail right there. I'll go ahead and throw that in. Lots of small sticks that have been processed down in here already. This is basically a fire lay in a bag. For all intents and purposes, you've got a fire in this bag. I see some pine needles here as well. We'll sprinkle some of those around the top. And I think I'm going to leave a lot of this in the bag because it's usable for 2, 3, 4 fires. And because I can reseal it, I can just keep utilizing that stuff. So what I'll do is I'll set this sealed bag aside. We'll light what we've got right here. and attempt to make our fire with that. And if we need to add some more, we've always got it here in the dry bag. You know, I've got to say before we light this fire that I'm really just thoroughly, almost overly impressed with the time that's been taken to put these materials together in this bag, because it's a very good combination of natural tinders. I'm not even going to use my knife on this ferro rod. I'm going to use the striker that comes with it. We'll try to light it with that. Look at that, boom, one hit. Now I'm just going to kind of stack this stuff over the top of that loosely and let it eat and dry out this material, and we'll see what happens. You know, I have to say that I'm more than slightly impressed with this Dragonfire tinder. This bag has got an absolute ton of standalone materials in it for starting several fires if you're in optimal weather. And if you were in foul weather, like today where the material is marginal at best, maybe you're not the greatest at starting fires, so you've grabbed kindling materials that are not optimal. Maybe they're too big in diameter, not enough surface area, they're damp to begin with, close to the ground. I made all those mistakes today on purpose just to kind of test this material out. And I only used probably a quarter of the bag. And it's really starting to catch good now because the surrounding material is starting to dry out, and I did use pine. So the cones and things like that are catching as well now. But I think that for an emergency investment or for a life insurance policy of $12, I think is what this bag costs, there's no reason in the world that I wouldn't put something like this in my wife's kit or my son's kit or my grandson's kit or something like that, just to ensure that if an emergency were to occur, they would definitely have a fire. You combine this with a lighter or a ferrocerium rod, and there's no question you're going to have a fire. Well guys, I appreciate you joining me here today for a quick look at this Dragonfire Extreme Tinder Pouch. You know, I don't often say enough about products sometimes that I truly believe in, and there's not a lot of products out there that I would stake my life on. But this bag of tinder is as good as anything I would have collected myself. No question in my mind about that. So for someone who does not have the knowledge base of the surrounding environment to be able to selectively get dry tinder material, or if you had not collected ahead of time and you were in an emergency scenario and you needed to light a fire quickly, having a bag like this of dry, highly combustible material that's been hand selected, that's priceless. Well folks, I appreciate you joining me and Rufus out here in the woods today for just a quick review video on the Dragonfire Extreme Tinder Pouch. Again, we've got that on the SRO website now, along with several other of his products that I'll review in the future. I would encourage you to go take a look at those the first chance you get. I appreciate your views and your support. I thank you for everything you do for our school, for our business, and for our family, for all of our sponsors, instructors, affiliates, and friends. And I'll be back with another video as soon as I can. Thanks, guys.